About ready to go green for 250 laps in the super late model division. Listen to this sound. So far, so good through turn one. Freddie Query nosing ahead, but Preston Peltier battling on the outside. Now he's going to settle down in the line as everybody tiptoes through turn four, and we've completed lap number one.
Man, they are really tearing it up here.
It's a whole different ball game. Woody mentioned listen to the sound, but when they come back to complete the first lap, it really was cranked up.
Talk to Freddie Query after his qualifying run. What is the importance of starting up front? Freddie Query wants to set the race pace. He wants to set his pace. If someone else is leading this race, he has to run what that leader does. He wants to set this race pace. He knows what he wants to do. His wife Elaine spots for him. She's going to tell him his lap times, and he knows exactly how fast he wants to go. And by having the lead right here at the beginning, he can set the pace that he wants to set.
Well, setting the pace indeed, and a lot of these drivers, their goal, their mission today is to stay on the lead lap. With Freddie Query out front, that's going to be quite a chore for a lot of these guys.
Battle for sixth spot there. Chris Dunn on the outside. Dean Clattenburg down low. They're still side by side off the final corner. A great race back there for sixth spot as they haul him off into turn one.
Clattenburg, originally from Canada, has moved down to this area now and racing quite a bit at Concord Motorsport Park. And that one machine, formerly driven by Eddie Massengill, Chris Dunn, found himself in it about not quite, a little bit more than halfway through the season, I should say, and has been giving that car a fine ride as well. Single file racing almost all the way around, except for Dennis Schoenfeld there looking down to the inside of Jimmy Simpson for a moment, but now backs out of that and settles in line.
Guys having to be patient but aggressive on these early laps because they all know who's leading this race, and they all know that they cannot get back there and get caught a lap down on this thing. If we go 50, 60 laps green, there's going to be some good cars a lap down before they even get a chance to come into the pits. That battle is for about the 8th spot back there. Schoenfeld, that's Johnny Clark in that 54. Runner from up in Maine doing a nice job as they have Jimmy Simpson on the outside now, just pinned out there, trying to get back down in line.
Boy, Jimmy got close to having some white walls there. He was awfully close to the wall that time, but now settles back in line, and everybody riding single file. Steve Post, you mentioned earlier in the open, one of the things we're going to have to keep an eye on is strategy for pit stops here.
Strategy for pit stop going to be key because they have to change 2 tires. If they do not change the 2 tires, they get penalized 1 lap for every tire. Where that becomes a factor, they cannot make it on fuel either. They can make it anywhere from 210 to 240 laps. So we're thinking if there's a caution around lap 40 or so, we're thinking that a lot of guys may come in. Where this really gets tricky, though, is if someone were to decide to try to stay out and maybe put on new tires late in the race and rumble through the field. The problem of it is, as we look above us, the skies are clouding up. This race may not go the 250 lap distance, and even if it is cut short by any reason like that, if they have those 2 fresh tires in the pits and do not change them, they're still penalized the 2 laps. So I think the pit strategy is going to be pit early here. As soon as that fuel window opens, I wouldn't be surprised to see pit road get real busy. Preston's just stroking along.
Oh, trouble. We got the 00 car spun.
Danny Probst.
Oh, there you second place car.
Conrad Bird goes around, also going around
Peltier just hit
in the wall. Fourth, Ted Musgrave Jr., and rounding out the top 5, Dean Clattenburg, as we get the green flag. Burr unable to get that lap back as 3, 4, 5 cars now blast by him. Query and Massengill had the easiest time getting by him, and they've opened up a little bit of a margin on third place Teddy Christopher.
It's got to be a tough assignment to try to get a lap back against Freddie Query.
Yeah, that's a full-time day of work right there. Eddie Massengill in that second spot is a 2-time champion, including last year here at Concord Motorsport Park. That is the same car that won this race last year with Clay Rogers at the wheel. Massengill, as we talked about during the opening or during the introductions, ran the pig rig for the first half of the season, but someone brought this car from Robbie Faggart and wanted Eddie Massengill to drive it, and Eddie's been very strong. In fact, the last race, late in the race, he passed Freddie Query for the second spot. So that's one of the cars to watch here. Eddie raced at Nashville last week in a big race out there, finished 10th spot after starting last on the field, had a really good run, and said he had a much better car than that. They just had all kinds of problems out there and still finished.
Don't want to happen is for this race to go caution-free.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And with that pass of Shelton McNair, who's very slow, Shelton McNair may be having a problem on the backside. That pass means only 15 cars remain on the lead lap. Now, we do have 2 cars out of the race. Danny Probst from Monroe and Cleet Kaywood of Easley, South Carolina, have already left the race. Heavy damage as well on the Preston Peltier machine. And Boy, it was sunny when this race started. Very cloudy now.
Yep, they have a
You
real
wonder if
concern.
the track's changing.
Yep, they have a real concern about the weather here, and I think we're getting at that stage now where if we have a caution, I wouldn't be surprised to see the guys down on pit road getting real busy because they need to get those tire changed.
There you see the 54 we were talking about. Johnny Clark, all the way from Minnesota here, having a good run. And he works around Conrad Burr, who's 2 laps down now. But blasting up through the field is Clark. He started 11th spin. Conrad Burr in the wall and running into
the 24 car
Mike Rowe.
T-boned him.
Mike Rowe had that strategy, put on fresh tires, and look where it ended up. Got in the back of the pack, and that sometimes happens.
Where was the spotter? What happened there?
I think he couldn't move down because there was a car to the inside of him. I think he could not get out of the way. He could not go down without running into somebody else and just locked the wheels down, but could not stop the car. Look at the fluid
coming out. A lot of
coming
damage.
out.
That's a radiator. He's done for the day. A lot of damage. That's sad for the 24 car.
That's
all the way
a shame.
from Maine.
All the way from Maine down here. All those wins up at Oxford Plains Speedway. Had a strategy, did a lot of different things, and unfortunately, boy, I tell you, it came to a quick halt over there off turn number 2.
58 of 250 laps complete here. Freddie Query on top, Eddie Massengill second, third, Ted Christopher. And as they clean up here, let's take a look at it again,
There's
guys.
Conrad Burr, the white car there. Let's see what happened to him first off. He got down in there. He's out of the picture, but here.
There he goes. He just into the wall hard.
And watch this.
Now 1, 2, 3.
He couldn't see.
Okay.
He was not boxed, but he couldn't
down
see
as we get ready to go back green. So far, so good. As everybody tiptoes around the lap traffic, the front 3 have broken away again.
I'm still puzzled and concerned about why cars didn't make a pit stop. I know everybody's watching Freddie to see what Freddie's going to do.
That's why half of them didn't come in as he didn't. But I just wonder, we were speculating during the break there that if this thing goes green, and if we had a long green flag run already, if we have another long green flag run and gets into the second half and something happens with the rain or something like that, they literally could all finish 2 laps down and someone 1 lap down could win this race. So.
Well,
that'd be fun to figure out.
It's hard to figure because you got to think you're not going to do yourself well if you let Freddie dictate tempo. I thought at least somebody would take a chance and go for it.
Last year in this race, and last year they tried the pit stops, and it was very frustrating watching this. The battle for fifth spot there is Dennis Schoenfeld works to the inside of the pig rig. It was very frustrating because when Freddie came down pit road, everyone followed him, and I said, why doesn't someone try anything? There, to me, was the perfect opportunity for someone to try it. Get out there, get your tires. When everyone else pits, you have track position. You